When we turn our attention to Hamlet, we are talking about Shakespeare's most influential creation. It is the play, obviously, that everyone has heard of, and they know parts of it, even if they haven't read it or taken it in its full complexity. The reason for its prominence, I would say even preeminence in the Anglo-American literary tradition, and perhaps even in the Anglo-American thought tradition, is that this play allows us to look back in time with our naked eye, that is, without any specialized language or historical training, and see or glimpse for the first time the modern individual, the modern sense of self. A figure, a character with a sense of consciousness, a sense of interiority, which is enough like our own that we can say, he is us, right? Or we are him. And you're not really able to do that in literature or philosophy prior to Hamlet. He literally emerges as an individual out of the medieval world. Remember the medieval world where the sense of self was there, of course, but constructed in a very different way, much more integrated into a collective sensibility. But Hamlet emerges out of that in such a striking fashion that we've organized ourselves, we've organized much of our art, and we've organized, frankly, much of our thought around this literary figure, this Prince of Denmark, who is in such a strange situation. His father has been killed by his brother, and his brother has not only taken over the throne, his brother has married his mother. His uncle Claudius has married Hamlet's mother Gertrude, and this is the frame of the play, and it's a revenge tragedy, not unlike Thomas Kyd's The Spanish Tragedy, perhaps the most popular in terms of performances and audience members and attendance and things like that. It's a revenge tragedy where, and Titus Andronicus, of course, the play we've read, where Hamlet, once he discovers this via the voice of his father's ghost, King Hamlet's ghost, he sets about on revenge. But Hamlet is a very odd revenger. He is a revenger who thinks deeply about revenge. He doesn't want to be an average avenger. He's deeply suspicious of being like all those other guys. In this play, by the way, even though we hold Hamlet out as distinctive, there are lots of people in his position, starting with Laertes at the end of the play. Remember, his father is killed, and he seeks revenge almost immediately. On the outskirts, or on the periphery of the play, is Fortinbras. His father has been killed by King Hamlet, and he's going to take revenge. That is, in this play, there are several young men who are seeking to revenge their father, just as in the dramatic world of Shakespeare's time, there were several revenge plays with young men seeking to revenge. But what makes Hamlet stand out again is that he hesitates, not because of cowardice. Shakespeare makes that clear to us when he kills Polonius. Not because of cowardice, but because he's got this sense of interiority, this sense of thought, which says, I'm distinctive, I'm different, I'm special, I'm unique. In short, I'm just like you, right? All of us have that sense of specialness, uniqueness, that sense of individuality that says, I'm not like other people. I'm different. When, of course, on some level, we know we're really not that different. So the critical moment I want you to actually start with in this play full of wonderful moments, crazy scenes, incredible violence, is actually not at the beginning of the play with the ghost or something like that. Is at the very end of the play, when Prince Hamlet is come back from his what could have been an ill-fated trip to England, and he's returned and he's in the cemetery. He's found his good friend Horatio, and they are watching Laertes more or less preside over the funeral of Hamlet's old girlfriend, Ophelia, and of course Laertes' sister, who has in her madness committed suicide. And in that funeral, Laertes, in a fit of grief, or shock, leaps into the grave, and is screaming and thrashing about. And it's at that moment that Prince Hamlet steps back onto the stage, watching Laertes do this, and leaps into the grave, fighting with Laertes. And as he leaps into the grave, he announces himself. He says, "Who is this whose grief bears such an emphasis? This is I, Hamlet the Dane." This is an incredible moment in the play I want to suggest to you, and I want you to look at it and think about it because it helps organize some of the all of the complexity of the play. This is a moment when Hamlet looks at one of these other revenging characters going around him and says, "No, this is me. This is me. I'm going to play my part. I'm going to play my role, but I'm going to play my role like everyone else, but I'm going to play it with a difference."